Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the second day program of 2024 경상북도 Office of Education, Global Citizenship Education, International Youth Forum. This is Hejin Kim again. I'm very honored and grateful for the opportunity to be back here with you all today. It seemed like all of you, our student group, has grown much closer to each other after last night's global exchange night, which is very grateful. Yesterday, we opened this global forum with a bilingual speech presentation followed by opening ceremony. And we also had an APEC youth forum, and we had a world citizenship reporter and the SDGs student global forum. Continuing on yesterday's program, we will have the second part of SDGs Student International Forum following the 11 teams from yesterday. So 16 team will be giving their presentation, and between the students' presentation, they will be reports from native speaking teachers, just like yesterday, as a part of the Global Citizenship Education Reporter. After today's students' presentation, Professor Shin Hae-in will deliver us the overall review. So at this time, I would like to recognize her. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Professor Shin Hae-in from the Handong University. Thank you so much. All right, so we would like to go ahead and start the second part of SDGs Student International Forum. We would like to put on the agenda for today. In this order that you can see, 네, 화면으로 띄워주시죠. In this order, we will have the presentation, so please make sure to be prepared before your turn. You can download the presentation materials if you can scan that code. All right, so our first team will be from China, followed by Seondeok High School students. So please be ready on the right side of the stage. Like I mentioned, after all the presentation, Professor Shin will deliver us the overall review. Well, this is the very last part of the presentation of SDGs Student Global Forum. So we really appreciate if you could actively participate in this forum. All right, let's go ahead and start. First, we would like to turn time over to team from China, Hanang-sung. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome them with a big round of applause.
Hello everyone, glad to see you all here. Let me introduce myself first. My name is Peng Yuyao. I come from Henan, China. It's an honor to showcase our group assignment. Today, we will delve into the theme of quality education. We will have 3 parts today. The first part is an overview of quality education, and the second part is the importance of quality education. The third part is how to achieve quality education. Let's move on to the first part. We all know that quality education is one of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. However, this grand concept doesn't allow us to truly feel the development status and problems faced by quality education in the 21st century today. Now, I have a question for everyone present. Do you know which place has the highest dropout rate in the world? The answer is Sub-Saharan Africa. Let's take a look at two sets of pictures. The first pictures show the school situation in Sub-Saharan Africa. We can see the lack of education level clearly. And the second group show the school environment in more developed regions such as United States and Australia. Its highly advanced facilities and clean and bright classroom form a strong contrast with the previous set of pictures. Let's take another look at the chart. This chart shows the higher education penetration rate of several regions and countries, includes Central Asia, Australia, the Americas, East Asia, Southeast Asia, and Korea. We can clearly see that the higher education penetration rate is relatively high in more developed regions. So, we will think of it. What is the important role and significance of quality education? One of the most significant utility of quality education is its impact on individuals' development. First, improve personal quality. Quality education focuses on cultivating students' comprehensive quality, including academic ability, innovation ability, interpersonal skills, and so on. Second, shaping the right values. Quality education helps individuals develop right values, outlooks on life and the world, and lead people to pursue truth, kindness, and beauty. Third, achieving self-worth. Quality education helps individuals discover their interests and potential, plan for the future, set clear goals, and work for them to achieve self-worth and life goals. Secondly, another important factor of promoting the quality education is its role in promoting the development of country, society, and even all of humanity.
Promoting economic development education promotes high quality economic development by upgrading workers' skills and knowledge. At the same time, education can indirectly promote economic growth by changing the concept, childcare, and increasing the participation rate of women in the labor. Strengthening national competitiveness, quality education is the key to engine the country's innovation capacity and core competitiveness. It can not only cultivate high quality competitiveness tenants, but also promote scientific and technology progress and prosperity.
Promote social harmony. Education helps to shape national character and national quality and promotes social harmony and stability through education. People can better understand the world and transform it to quality a better a better future.
However, we still have questions that how to achieve quality education in the 21st century today. The government is a core institution that leads the management of the country. So, achieve quality education starts with the government. The government should formulate comprehensive education policies, clarify educational objectives, and ensure equitable distribution of educational resources. I would like to mention the National Excellence Plan, formulated by the Chinese government in 2023, which aims to select a group of outstanding teachers from among college graduates and train them to ensure the students can receive quality education from the excellent teachers.
School is a place of practice of education, teacher team building, recruit excellent teachers, and provide continuous professional development opportunities for in-service teachers. Campus culture construction creates a positive, inclusive, and diverse cultural atmosphere and encourage students' individual development. For example, organizing events like technology festivals and cultural festivals to provide students with a platform to showcase themselves and cultivate their confidence and creativity.
Family is the first school of life, creating a good home learning environment for children, including quiet learning space, abundant learning resource, and so on. For example, setting up a family book corner where children can read books anytime. Stressing cooperation between home and school, understand the child's learning and living situation at school. For example, regular attending parent-teacher conference, cooperating with schools to complete education and teaching work, and jointly promoting children's growth.
Achieving the goal of quality education is a long and arduous task, but I believe we all have power within us to make a positive impact on the world. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we'll turn time over to our next presenter, the students from Sondok Girls High School. We kindly ask you to please keep your presentation in 7 minutes. Please go ahead.
Hello, we are Sanjo Lee.
And Chaewon Lee from Sunda Girls High School, who will present the theme of Goal 16, Peace, Justice, and Inclusion. It is a great honor to be able to talk about a sustainable future with students from various countries through this activity.
Recently, we have encountered many issues in various fields, including politics, society, and the environment of the international community. Conflicts between Israel and Palestinians intensified in the Middle East, leading to war in Gaza, and the civil war in Yemen continues. In addition, during the U.S. presidential election, several candidates competed over international security and foreign policy, drawing attention from all over the world. This made us feel the need to revisit the universal values of peace, justice, and inclusion at the global level, beyond just regional conflicts or competition among countries. We would like to share our usual opinions on this issue.
We recently visited Hiroshima, a symbol of peace and reconstruction, on the occasion of international exchange. What comes to your mind in relation to Hiroshima? Yes, many of you may recall about the atomic bomb. The war has caused numerous victims and property damage, and the United States dropped atomic bombs in Hiroshima to minimize the sacrifice of its citizens and to put an end to the war. As a result, Japan surrendered, and the Second World War, which threatened the security of its citizens, came to an end.
But we need to think about whether this is the right way. We visited the Peace Memorial Museum and the Atomic Bomb Dome, where we could hear the terror wreckage of the war and the stories of the victims. After the bombing, at least 70,000 people died from the explosion and about 70,000 died from the radiation exposure. Countless people spent the rest of their lives in hospitals because of the radiation aftermath. In the chaotic situation of the World War, the atomic bombing may have been an activity in the pursuit of peace in order to prevent the increase in war victims.
But we can't deny that bombing was inhuman, killing innocent citizens in other countries and destroying cities. Is this true justice? We want to talk about this through the word identity. National identity is a member of the state in which an individual has a sense of belonging and a clear belief that he is a member of the state. In addition, an individual's identity is maintaining consistent identity within oneself and continuing to have certain essential characteristics in relation to other beings. We often tend to confuse national identity with our own identity.
However, our youth must remember that they must establish the right values of individuals under the influence of the state. Can we realize our desirable self if we indiscriminately trust the decision of the state? Let me make one assumption. We have a country that is hostile to us. If the country's political forces launch indiscriminate attacks because they are not compatible with us. So, if innocent civilizations are harmed, would it be the right decision to attack? We should limit the scope of inclusion to the extent of human rights violations. If a country makes the wrong decision, it needs to be able to criticize it and try not to reach extreme cultural relativism. It is also important to think deeply about whether my identity really seeks peace and justice.
As students from various countries gather here, we will also deal with multicultural inclusion. They consider multicultural positive and try to give unconditional help, or they often try to instill self-culture through nominal education.
This is also causes conflicts between indigenous and foreigners. What would happen if people from multicultural backgrounds were rejected because of the cultural conflict that occurs in the process of trying to forcefully inject our culture? Or the economic insecurity caused by the increase in the number of the foreign workers?
We devised multicultural AR station as one of the solutions. It is a game in which multinational participants team up to solve the mission of each culture after installing stations, where people can experience each culture using AR technology throughout the city. The purpose of this project is for participants to look at the world from a broader perspective, especially by adding discussion sessions on the theme of multicultural cooperation at the last stage to create opportunity to share their thoughts with each other.
I think the core of multicultural inclusion is mutual understanding. You will experience meaningful inclusion when you try to understand the differences based on your knowledge of various cultures.
I believe that peace can be created only when the engagement that has been discussed so far is realized. I hope that this announcement will serve as an opportunity to re-establish awareness of a just society and thus lead the international community in a better direction. Thank you for listening to our presentation.
Thank you. All right, next team. The Pohang Idong High School students will deliver us their presentation. Please welcome them.
Hello, I'm Jung Hae-yun from Pohang Ilong High School. Today, I would like to talk about Goal 16, peace, justice, and the establishment of a strong system among the UN Sustainable Development Goals. Ladies and gentlemen, peace and justice are not just ideals, but they are fundamental rights that we should all enjoy. True freedom comes from social solidarity and justice, said educationalist Pablo Freire. In this presentation, we will explain the importance of Goal 16, focusing on these values and present specific action plans that our students can practice. Sustainable Development Goals are the 17 targets set by the UN in 2015 for global problem solving. It covers a range of challenges, including combating poverty, protecting the environment, and promoting equality. Futurist Alvin Toffler defined sustainable development as meeting the need of the present but not threatening the need of future generations. Goal 16 aims to build an inclusive and fair society in this context, allowing everyone to enjoy equal rights. Goal 16 is the foundation of sustainable development. The United Nations Development Program stressed that without peace, there is no sustainable development. A violence-free society, fair law enforcement, and a system of integrity are essential to ensuring the fundamental rights of mankind. Educator Don Dewey said, democracy is the foundation of a peaceful society, and education is the most powerful means of making it happen. This education is what we can all contribute to creating a peaceful and just society. The key indicator for evaluating Goal 16 can be summarized the three ways: violence reduction, access to justice system, prevention of corruption. Futurist Harjard Adam said, a fair system builds society trust. This indicator provides specific directions for a peaceful and just society. Goal 16 consists of three key elements: peaceful society, justice guarantees, responsible system. Educator Edward Dewey said, creative thinking is a starting point for all social changes. Every single one of our creative actions can be the driving force behind these changes. The first action is to actively participate in human rights and peace education. If you participate in the Sustainable Development Education Program run by the 경상북도 Office Education, you can learn the value of peace and justice in depth. It is also a good idea to create a peace club within the school or take the lead in related activity by utilizing the Ministry of Education School Peace Project. Through this activity, we can more clearly understand and practice our role in creating a peaceful society. The second thing to look at is service and corruption in the community. Why don't you participate in the Carbon Neutral Action Campaign or Clean Gyeongbu project to help clean up the environment in North Gyeongsang Province? Pohang City in creating a safe villages environment with residents through the Safety Village Creation Campaign. And you can experience intergenerational communication by regularly volunteering at senior welfare centers or local children's centers. These activities play an important role in making the community we live in a warmer and more just place. Digital technology is a great help in communicating our voices further and more widely. You can open a hashtag campaign on social messages to spread message about human rights and peace. It would be good to create a webtoon or video content with your friend and deliver creative messages under the theme of peaceful society or fair justice. These activities go beyond fun, can help share social messages and drive real change. Goal 16 consists of 3 key elements: peaceful society, justice guarantees, responsible system. Educator Edward did you know that our small actions can have an impact on a global level as well? Join international events such as the United Nations General Assembly and discuss global issues with students from other countries. It's also a good idea to participate in programs run by international NGO or learn various cultures and problems through the Global Citizen Education of the 경상북do Office of Education. These activities will be a great opportunity to discuss with people from various backgrounds and build solidarity toward a better world. The fact that our voice can actually influence community and nature policy, why don't you participate in a youth policy proposal competition hosted by 경상북도 and propose a solution to the local problem we feel? It can also be a good way to participate in the SDG-related contest of the Ministry of Education and come up with creative ideas. These activities are powerful tools to bring things that we feel uncomfortable with in our daily life into real life. Goal 16 is a difficult goal to achieve alone. School, communities, governments, and even the international community must all join forces. Small actions come together to make a big difference. The participation of each and every one of you is the first step in creating a peaceful and just society. So far, we learned about Goal 16 together. Peace and justice are valuable values that must be kept for our future. Think about what small practice you can make today. Let's build a better world together. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Thank you.
Thank you. So that presentation was by Pohang Idong High School. Following that, we will have students from the United States of America will deliver us a presentation. And after that, Gyeongbuk Foreign Language High School students, your turn, so please be ready. And after Gyeongbuk Foreign Language High School students, we'll have a world citizenship education reporter from one of our native speaking teachers that are working in our province. All right, we would like to turn time over to the students from the United States of America.
안녕하세요. 저는 배박수 공도학교에 재학 중인 수업 12학년 캔디스 카스트로입니다.
그리고 저는 11학년 앰버 아르나입니다. 저의 프레젠테이션은 다양한 공동체를 요해 모두를 위한 평등한 교육을 제공하기입니다.
배박수 고등학교 비전 및 미션. 잠깐 저의 학교를 소개하겠습니다. 비전. 배박수 고등학교의 학생들은 학문적으로 도전적이고 교양 잡힌 51개지 교육을 통해 깊이 있는 질문과 변화도는 행동을 영감할 것입니다. Fairfax High School은 긍정적인 학교 문화를 만들어 학생들의 성장에 모든 측면을 지원할 것입니다.
미션. Fairfax High School은 학생들의 책임감 있고 참여하는 세계 시민으로서의 독특한 역할을 준비할 수 있도록 도울 것입니다. 교사들은 장애적이고 흥미로운 교육을 통해 학문적 성취를 창조하며 개인을 넘어 끝임없이 변화하는 세상에 대한 인식과 호기심을 중요하게 여길 것입니다. 페어팩스 고등학교의 교육에 대한 약속. 장애가 있는 학생들을 위한 지원을 합니다. 개인별 교육 프로그램을 통한 맞춤형 지원 제공, 전담 교사와 전문 지원 직원들을 배치합니다.
다양한 언어 프로그램도 있습니다. 비원어민 학생들을 위한 영어 수업 그리고 친구 언어 지원도 제공을 합니다. AP 및 Honors 수업이 다양하게 있습니다. 학생의 병에 상관없이 수업에 접근할 수 있는 기회를 제공합니다.
모든 학생 그룹의 참여를 장려하여 학급 격차를 줄이기 위한 노력을 합니다. 기회에 대한 평등한 접근, LAUSD 학업 지원 프로그램도 아끼지 않습니다. 모든 학생들은 무료 과외 세션을 이용할 수 있습니다.
문화들어 동아리와 행사로 많습니다. 한국, 라틴, 필리핀 등 다양한 문화적 배경을 대표하는 동아리들을 학생들이 운영합니다.
문화 행사를 통해 다양성을 장려함으로써 평화, 문화적 이해, 존중을 가르칩니다. 비사브란 무엇인가요? 페어팩스 고등학교에서 채동하는 프로그램으로 흑인 학생들이 모든 학업 및 사회적 생활 영역에서 동응을 주며 긍정적인 문화적 정체성을 유지할 수 있도록 지원합니다.
목표는 흑인 학생들이 높은 학업 성취를 이루고 상화적, 정서적 인식을 강화하며 긍정적인 문화적 정체성을 만들 수 있도록 지원합니다.
결론 및 양질의 교육에 대한 약속. 핵심 요점. 페어팩스 고등학교는 모든 학생들을 지원적인 교육 환경을 제공함으로써 SDG 4와 16을 적극적으로 지원하고 있습니다.
미래 목표 프로그램 예를 들어 스페인어 이중 언어 프로그램을 계속 확장하고 더 많은 지원을 제공하며 모든 학생들을 성공할 수 있는 동등한 기회를 보장합니다. 감사합니다. And on behalf of Amber and I, happy Thanksgiving from the United States.
Happy Thanksgiving. Well, thank you so much. We really appreciate that you gave us your presentation in Korean, which was very impressive. So why don't we give them another big round of applause? All right, we would like to turn time over to Gyeongbuk Foreign Language High School students for their presentation. Please welcome them on the stage.
Good morning, everyone. As we participated in such a great event yesterday, we really wanted to show you our presentation. I'm Gyeongbuk Foreign Language High School third grade student Jung Yeonjun.
I'm Jae-yu Choi. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a big hand.
A few days ago, we took Suneung, which is the most important final test in Korean education system. From the standpoint of being an adult, soon, we like to talk about current social assignments brought by AI. Let's start with this number. 300 million. What does this mean? This is the number of jobs that Goldman Sachs predicts will be replaced by AI. Alarming, right? AI has become deeply integrated into our daily life. However, economic and social change it brings go far beyond the convenience. They present new challenges that we must address. Among them, today, we would like to focus on the change in jobs affected by AI. AI has enhanced productivity and driven innovation across various industries. However, at the same time, it has led to the replacement of many jobs. For instance, in manufacturing, AI-powered robots automate process and replace human workers. Similarly, in the service industry, technologies like chatbots are automating customer service roles, eliminating numerous jobs. These changes enhance income inequality, with some people enjoying the benefit of technology while others face the risk of being behind. In this way, AI is not merely advancing technology, but also reshaping the very structure of society. At this point, it is necessary to examine the concept of structural peace. Jae, can you explain about structural peace?
Of course I can. Structural peace is not merely the absence of war or physical violence, but the attainment of social, economic, and political equality. However, the changes brought by AI threaten to hinder such structural peace. The income inequality and the technological gaps caused by development of AI can lead to conflicts and undermine the peace. There are several reasons why structural peace has not been realized. First, AI technology is concentrated in the hands of specific groups or corporations. Second, the lack of social safety nets makes it difficult for those who lose jobs due to AI to access retraining or refinding new employment opportunities. Third, the current education systems remain stuck in the past and does not sufficiently equip people with the skills needed for the AI era. For these reasons, AI is deepening social inequality and making it harder to achieve structural peace. So, how can we solve this problem? The answer lies in the essence of the human intelligence. While the core of AI is its ability to expand awareness through data, human intelligence is fundamentally different. Humans do not merely accept data. They critically analyze it and independently generate transformative ideas. Humans can reimagine and understand the world through their unique perspectives, refusing to confine their frameworks of awareness within personal experiences or rely solely on data. This critical thinking forms the foundation of human intelligence, which AI cannot replicate. Thus, the solution is not to mimic AI's abilities, but to focus on enhancing these unique human traits.
Let us now examine the role of education. The current education system is still heavily focused on traditional knowledge delivery. However, in the AI era, a completely new direction is required. I will tell you 3 directions. First, education must foster creativity. The ability to critically analyze data and generate new ideas is essential. Second, critical thinking skills need to be developed. AI-provided information is not always correct, so evaluating and judging it is crucial. Third, ethical reasoning should be cultivated. Humans must make value-driven decisions to guide technological advancements in the right direction. Even in the age of AI, there are unique abilities that only humans possess. One of these is empathy and communication. AI can process data but has a limitation in understanding and empathizing with human emotions. They have no emotion. Another is the ability to create value. Humans alone can transcend existing frameworks, propose new ideas, and guide technology in a positive direction.
AI provides us with significant opportunities, but also poses serious challenges. To address the job changes and structural peace crisis caused by AI, the role of education is getting more important than ever. By focusing on education that enhances unique human capabilities, we can create a society where humans and AI collaborate while preserving human uniqueness. This is the path to achieving structural peace in the AI era. Thank you.
Thank you. Now it's time for the World Citizenship Education reporting by teacher Javier Benitez, who is working at Yeongdong Middle School. Following the reports, we'll have a presentation by Uzbekistan and Gyeongju Girls Information High School team. And also the last team for the first part of today's forum will be 의성 유니텍 하이스쿨 팀. 네, 다음으로는 세계 시민교육 리포터 순서입니다. 영동중학교에서 근무 중이신 우리 미국 출신 자비에르 선생님의 리포트가 있겠고요. 그 이후에 우즈벡 팀의 발표가 있습니다. 우즈벡 팀의 발표가 끝나면 경주 여자 정보고등학교 팀의 발표고요. 그 다음 순서로는 의성 유니텍 고등학교의 친구들이 준비를 해주시면 되겠습니다. 앞에 발표가 있을 때 해당 발표 차례가 된 팀들은요, 무대 오른쪽 편에서 대기해 주시면 되겠습니다. Alright, Teacher Javier, please go ahead.
Okay. Hello, I'm excited to tell you about, wait for it, Goal 4, Quality Education, Ensuring Inclusive and Equitable Quality Education for All. But what does that mean? So we are talking about education. And your next question will be, well, how do you know? Well, I am Javier. I've been a middle school teacher here, 30 minutes north of here in a city called Yeongcheon. I teach at 3 middle schools. I teach at 1 elementary school. And today we're talking about the US. So how is that relevant? Well, I went to elementary school in the US, middle school in the US, high school in the US, and college in the US. So maybe I know a little bit. And what is Goal 4? So the UN says Goal 4 aims to ensure inclusive, equitable, quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. But why education? You guys know that the UN has 17 goals. And with education, we have a special opportunity. Because as you increase access to high quality education, it bleeds into all of the other goals. And so we have the opportunity to have a very deep impact with this goal. So when we're talking about education, what are we really talking about? Well, we have access to quality education. We have early childhood development and pre-primary education. Gender equality in education, youth and adult literacy. Oh, sorry about that. Skills for employment and entrepreneurship, and improved education infrastructure. When I was doing this research, it was very interesting because a lot of the things that we're going to talk about here have actually impacted me in my own life. And I'll tell you a little bit about that. But let's look at what are the challenges that the US is facing. We have high primary and secondary enrollment, but the education that is being put out is not equal everywhere. It really depends on where in the United States you are, whether you're in a very rural area or whether you're in a very urban area, whether you are in a very affluent area or you are in an area with low socioeconomic level. We have a lack of universal pre-K. In a state like mine, Florida, I was able to go to pre-K just fine. But there are some states, which is about more than half of the states, where they have a lottery system. So depending on how much the government funds the program will determine how many students have access to that program. So in some states, only 40% of students are able to go to pre-K. In some states, maybe 50, 60, and so it's not really standardized yet. And then the last thing I want to talk to you about, and me being a teacher, I know that as a teacher, I'm going where I'm going to be treated best. But that creates a problem because that leaves a gap in the areas that are not so affluent. That leaves a gap in the areas that are rural because those teachers are going to move to the areas where they're treated best. So let's talk about how is the US going about treating these problems. We have the ESA Act. That was legislation that was passed back in the 1960s by President Lyndon B. Johnson and then was re-signed by President Obama. The ESA Act gives funding to low-income students. The Head Start program. How many of you have seen Sesame Street? Yeah, we have a couple guys out there. The Sesame Street was funded by the Head Start program. But hold on, the Head Start program is not just about TV, it's not just about fun. Actually, I was in the Head Start program when I was younger, and the Head Start program focuses on education for kids before elementary school. So I was in the Head Start 2 years. Don't ask me what I did in the Head Start program. That was too long ago, guys. There is higher education initiatives and funding. This also really impacted my life. There's a program called the Pell Grant. So when I left high school, I had a 75% scholarship, and then through government funding, I was able to receive the Pell Grant for the first 2 years of college, which was able to pay the rest of my college. After the first 2 years, my mom started making too much money. They didn't want to give me the Pell Grant anymore. Let's look at where are those programs impacting. So through ESA, we have what's called Title I, and that is going to fund programs for homeless children, people of low economic status, and also students whose first language is not English. We have the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act. That's going to provide funding for all the students that have disabilities. And we also have funding for digital access. This was really ramped up during the coronavirus epidemic. And there's an initiative to fund STEM programs, science, technology, engineering, and math. And that's done through online education as well as building infrastructure where you're able to have those classes for science, where you're able to have those classes for technology. Now, the US knows that it cannot do this on its own. And so what it's tried to do is create a coalition where the corporate side is also putting in their best effort. So we have companies like Microsoft, we have companies like Google, which are providing resources for students and providing resources for education. We have nonprofit working as well. We have places like Khan Academy, we have UNICEF that are also providing resources for education. And we have community-based local programs. Actually, I worked at one of these before I came to Korea. This was in a low income neighborhood, and we taught the students arts. So we had a program for breakdancing, we had a program for art, we had a program for guitar, and we also had a program for drumming. I'm not gonna do any breakdancing here today, guys, because I was just the guy that filed the papers. I didn't do any breakdancing. So how can we measure progress? How do we know that we are meeting those goals? We have the government agency called the NCES. This is the National Center of Education Statistics. And what they do is that they take in all this data about enrollment rates, literacy rates, graduation rates, and access to childhood education. And with that, we're actually able to see if we're meeting those goals. So I've talked to you guys about what the United States is doing to implement legislation. I've talked to you about how the United States is forming a coalition between the corporate, the nonprofits, and also the community. But we still have some challenges. And everybody knows the United States is made up of immigrants. But we have this changing population within the United States because of immigrants. But recently, we also have something else, which is migrants. So migrants are the people that are in the United States that are moving around. It used to be that people from rural areas would move to the urban areas. But since the pandemic, we have the reverse. Because now, maybe your parents, they don't have to work at the office. Maybe they can work online. So now those people are deciding, hey, why don't I move to the rural areas? So now we have movement within migration, we have movements within immigration, and so it's very hard to pinpoint where the challenges are because there's such a dynamicism within the United States. Anyway, I hope you guys were informed. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, teacher, for your report. Now we will continue on SDGs, Students International Forum. I would like to turn the stage to Uzbekistan students.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Samira, and I'm a senior student at the academic life stream under the University of World Economy and Diplomacy in Tashkent. I'm happy to see here you all. Today, I would like to talk about the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal 16, which stands for peace, justice, and strong institutions. Goal 16 is about promoting peaceful and inclusive societies, providing access to justice for all, and building effective, accountable, and inclusive institutions at all levels. People everywhere should be free of fear from all forms of violence and feel safe as they go about their lives, whatever their ethnicity, faith, or sexual orientation. Goal 16 aligns with the broader human rights framework by promoting societies that respect and uphold individual rights, as well as the rights of privacy, freedom of expression, and access to information. Peace is a fundamental precondition for social and economic development. Without peace, societies are often plagued by conflicts, violence, and instability, which can hinder progress and result in the loss of lives and resources. The key targets of Goal 16 are reduce violence everywhere, significantly reduce all forms of violence and related death rates everywhere. Second, protect children from abuse, exploitation, trafficking, and violence. Third, promote the rule of law at the national and international levels and ensure equal access to justice for all. Four, combat organized crime and illicit financial and arms flows. By 2030, significantly reduce illicit financial and arms flows, strengthen the recovery and return of stolen assets, and combat all forms of organized crimes. The next, substantially reduce corruption and bribery at all their forms. And the last one, develop effective, accountable, and transparent institutions at all levels. Well, it might be obvious why we need the reduction of corruption, violence, and the protection of children. But however, when it comes to the last target, you might ask me, why do we need institutions? And I would answer that institutional change is the most important step towards peace and justice. In the context of social sciences, institutional change refers to the process of altering the political and economic institutions of a country. It involves the modification of formal and informal rules, as well as the underlying ideologies, which can have either positive or negative effects on economic development and wealth. Strong institutions are vital for maintaining peace and order, adapting to new technological or societal conditions, and to improve the functioning of the economic system, as well as fostering economic growth, addressing the root causes of problem, and ensuring sustainable development. Above-mentioned targets are the goals the whole world is striving to achieve. So many actions have been taken by different countries, but unfortunately, despite progress, there are still many challenges, such as corruption, weak institutions, and lack of justice for vulnerable population. Armed violence and insecurity have a destructive impact on a country's development, affecting economic growth and often resulting in long-standing grievances among communities. Violence also affects children's health, development, and well-being, as well as their ability to thrive. It causes trauma and weakens social inclusion. Lack of access to justice means that conflicts remain unresolved, and people cannot obtain protection and redress. Institutions that do not function according to legitimate laws are prone to arbitrariness and abuse of power, and less capable of delivering public services to everyone. Sexual violence, crime, exploitation, and torture are prevalent where there is conflict or no rule of law, and countries must take measures to protect those who are most at risk. Now we know more about the key targets and even challenges, but what we can do to achieve those targets as soon as possible. Governments, civil society, and communities need to work together to find lasting solutions to conflict and insecurity. Strengthening the rule of law and promoting human rights is key to the process, as it's reducing the flow of illicit arms, combating corruption, and ensuring inclusive participations at all levels. All in all, cooperation would be the biggest step towards peace and justice. In addition, exercise your rights to hold your elected officials to account, to freedom of information, and share your opinion with your elected representatives. Promote inclusion and respect towards people of different ethnic origins, religion, gender, sexual orientation, or different opinions. In conclusion, I would like to say that Sustainable Development Goal 16 encourages a global commitment to peace, justice, and strong institutions to bright and sustainable future. We hope for global peace. Thank you for the attention.
Thank you for your insightful presentation. Now, the stage will be open for Gyeongju Girls Information High School students for their presentation. Please welcome them with a big round of applause.
안녕하십니까. 저는 베트남에서 온 유학생 리티엔입니다.
안녕하십니까. 저는 베트남에서 살다가 한국인 아버지를 따라 한국에 들어온 최수정입니다.
2024년 헌치 전 세계는 지속하는 발전 목표 달성을 위해 힘쓰고 있습니다. 특히 SDGs 4번 목표인 모든 사람에게 불용적이고 공평한 약진의 교육 방침 및 평생 학습 기회 제공은 미래 세대의 삶의 질은 경청짓는 중요한 과제입니다. 2024 SDGs 이행 보고서에 따르면 교육의 질과 접근성은 여전히 전 세계는 적으로 큰 경찰은 보이면 여전 경제적 불평등, 성편, 자변 그리고 지역간 경제와 말물로 악화되고 있습니다. 이는 여전히 많은 도전 과제감 남에 있음은 계단계하며 이른 극복하기 위한 그로편 협력은 빈정성은 강조하게 됩니다.
양질의 교육은 개인의 삶을 변화시킬 뿐만 아니라 사회 전체의 발전을促진합니다. 교육은 빈곤을 퇴치하고 성평등을 증진시키고 평화로운 사회를 구축하는 데 필수적입니다. 모든 개인이 양질의 교육을 받을 수 있는 기회를 갖도록 하기 위해서는 각국 정부의 강력한 정책적 지원과 투자, 그리고 지역사회의 적극적인 참여와 연대가 필요합니다. 연대함으로써 지역사회는 교육의 형평성을 달성하고 모든 개인이 포괄적이고 양질의 교육을 받을 수 있는 공평한 기회를 갖도록 할 수 있습니다. 과거 한국은 한국 전쟁 이후 유엔의 한국 경제 부흥과 더불어 교육 재건을 위한 교육 원조를 받았던 경험이 있습니다. 덕분에 바른 시간에 교육 환경이 자리 잡아 정상적인 교육이 이루어질 수 있었고 오늘날의 한국 교육은 우수한 인프라와 높은 수준으로 평가받고 있습니다. 이루 전 세계와 연대하여 모든 사람에게 양질의 교육, 학습의 기회로 돌려드리고자 하였습니다. 현재 경북교육청 직업계고에서는 해외 우수 유학생을 선발하여 한국 전반의 기본 소양 교육과 더불어 우수한 직업 기술 교육을 하고 있습니다. 경주여자정보고등학교와 경주정보고, 명인고, 신라공고, 의성유니티고, 한국국제도리고, 한국절도고, 한국해양마스터고 총 8개 학교 중 제 친구의 디엔이는 경주여자정보고등학교에서 한국어, 한국문화교육과 직업계고등학교 교육을 받고 있습니다.
저는 학교에 처음 들어와 한국어가 많이 서툴었지만 학교에서 매주 저녁 시간 이상의 한국어 수업은 들으면 실력이 점점 좋아지고 있습니다. 제만 하기 실력 어떤가요? 또 장의처 체험 활동과 주말은 이용하며 전통복 만들기, 한복 입고 문화유산은 체험, 전통놀이 공예, 체험들은 통해 다양하게 한국은 몸으로 느끼고 익히고 있습니다. 반대로 학교 축제되는 베트남 전통 인상 체험, 베트남 커피 판매 부스를 운영하며 우리가 한국 학생들에게 베트남 문화를 알리고 그 수익금은 짐에 붙은 마음에 기부하며 따뜻한 마음도 나누었습니다. 1학년으로서 한국어와 한국문화 교육은 동해 기부 소야은 쌓고 전문 교과 교육이 다채롭게 이루어지고 있어 내년이 더욱 기다려집니다. 이렇게 즐겁게 배우고 있는 우리 학교에 와서 제가 무엇보다 놀랐던 점은 교실에서의 모습이었습니다. 교실에는 이미 다양한 국적의 친구들이 함께 있었습니다. 여기 있는 수정이 중국에서 온 수빈, 러시아에서 온 아나스타사, 필리핀에서 온 클로이 등 모두 저와 같은 관광과입니다. 이러한 학교 내적은 지구촌 모습은 모든 학생이 모형져 있고 개인차를 존중하는 환경 속에 교육받을 수 있음을 의미합니다. 이러한 모습은 경국 다양성과 분명히 중요성을 안게하고 있는 동해 교육은 연대가 이루어진 것입니다. 지역 사회가 함께 모여 모두를 위한 혁신의 교육을 추구하는 것으로 교육의 형평성을 이룰 수 있습니다.
따라서 저는 각 나라의 정부와 지역사회는 연대하여 협력으로 모든 아이들이 학교 교육을 받는 데 필요한 자원과 지원을 보장한다면 모든 사람에게 포용적이고 공평한 양질의 교육 보장 및 평생 학습 기회 제공이 지구촌 곳곳에서 이루어낼 수 것이라 생각합니다. 감사합니다.
Thank you. You just heard a presentation by multicultural students from Gyeongju Girls Information High School in Korean, which was very impressive. The next presentation, you will hear from the students from Thailand who are studying abroad here in Korea at Eisang Unitech High School. And they chose the Korean as their second language to learn from the school. And it's their, I bet it's their first or second time try to give a presentation in front of many people. So I think it's really, we better give them a big hands that they try their presentation in Korea. So welcome them on the stage.
안녕하세요. 저는 태국에서 유학 온 태지아입니다.
안녕하십니까. 저는 태유진입니다.
저는 목표포에 대해 말씀드리겠습니다. 특이보호는 아동 장애인 서병을 고려하여 교육 지철 전립하고 개선하여 모두를 위한 안전하고 비폭력적이며 폭력적이고 효과적인 학습 환경을 제공하는 것을 목표로 합니다. 모두를 위한 안전하고 비폭력적인 교육 지철을 구축하는 것이 중요한 이유는 교사의 질문에 사진 있게 답을 할 수 있으며 수업에 더욱 적극적으로 참여할 수 있기 때문입니다. 또한 원만한 대인관계를 형성할 수 있고 사회적 활동에 더 잘 참여할 수 있도록 돕습니다.
이러한 환경은 학생들의 학습 및 의사소통 기술과 능력은 더욱 발전시키는데 도움이 됩니다. 먼저 신체적으로 불우한 학생들을 위해 이동동선 고려한 시설을 짓고 모든 건물에 경사로 및 엘리베이터를 의무화해야 합니다. 그 다음에 현의 보조기구들은 폐지하여 자유롭게 사용할 수 있도록 해야 합니다. 그리고 성별이 고려한 방안으로는 현의 각 성별 휴게실은 성지하는 것은 예로 들 수 있습니다. 각 성별의 학생들이 편하게 옷을 갈아입을 수 있으며 편히 쉴 수 있게 돕니다. 또한 휴게실에 각 성별의 학생들에게 필요한 보조 물품들은 구매해 할 수 있는 자판기는 전시할 수도 있습니다. 추가적으로 학교의 색채 및 조명도 신경을 쓸 수 있는데 학생들이 편안한 분위기를 느끼게 하는 색채로 사용할 수 있습니다. 예를 들어 도서관은 연한 베이지색을 활용해 눈에 피로를 주지 않고 따뜻하고 쾌적한 환경을 만들 수 있고 교실은 연한 노란색을 활용해 밝은 분위기를 만들 수 있습니다. 마지막으로 학교의 시설과 인적 자원은 더욱 확충하여 학교 폭력을 예방하고 학생의 안전에 더 주의를 기울일 수 있습니다. 먼저 시선 측면에서는 학생들이 언제든 학교 폭력 상황은 신고할 수 있는 핫라인을 만든 방안이 있고 인적 자원 측면에서는 지역 경찰과 연계하여 경찰이 지속적으로 학교를 방문할 수 있도록 하여 폭력은 예방하고 학교 폭력의 범위와 규정은 명확히 가르치는 방안이 있습니다.
이러한 방안들은 통해 모든 학생들에게 안전하고 폭력적이며 효과적인 환경을 만들 수 있습니다. 감사합니다.
Thank you for your great message. All right, ladies and gentlemen, now we've just heard 8 presentations, and we would like to turn time over to Professor Shin Hye-in from Handong Global University for the experts' overall review. Please welcome her on the stage with a round of applause.
My goodness, I was so impressed at all the presentation. You did such a wonderful job. And, you know, I was thinking whether I should make a general comment, but I decided that since each team made so much effort into presenting, I thought I should go over very briefly each team and make a positive feedback and some of the suggestions that you can perhaps improve your presentation. Can I do that? Sure. Yes, so that will be helpful, right? Okay. Overall, I was very pleased, but for further improvement, some of my comments would be first for the Chinese team. I really liked the way that you presented as a team. There wasn't just a 1 or 2 stellar presenter, but you had everybody involved. And I thought that showed an inclusion of presentations. So I really liked that. And I like the way you emphasized that personal progress and social progress was an important part of high quality education. But then I wondered, why wasn't the world included? Like the high quality education for personal development, for social progress, and for the development of the world as a whole. I thought that should have been included to make it a little bit more whole. So that was a little bit of my suggestion. And another comment, if I may make, the slides that you showed, and you said that the sub-Saharan region were those with the highest school dropout rate. And you showed a slide on empty classrooms. And then it said South Africa. South Africa is not sub-Saharan Africa. South Africa is one of the wealthiest country in Africa. So I'm like, South Africa with empty classroom. So it is, I think you meant to say sub-Saharan Africa. So maybe a correction on that would make your presentation more perfect. But thank you so much for the presentation. Second team, the Korean team. I like the way you covered broadly. When you talked about peace, justice, and embrace, you talked about various issues, including the bombing at the Hiroshima and the multicultural inclusivity. And I could see that you did a lot of research, a lot of brainstorming. But I wondered a little bit on the consistency of the presentation, because when you started the presentation, the slide, you had 4 pictures. One, Israeli-Palestinian conflict, Yemen civil war, the US presidential election, and the environmental crisis. So my assumption was that you would be linked to that picture, but you went on to say about Hiroshima, and then you went to say about multicultural. So I was a little confused. I wish that the flow would be a little bit more logical and coherent. By the way, about the bombing at Hiroshima, I don't think this is a black and white issue. You can't blame US for dropping. Okay, you cannot it was a terrible catastrophe, but there was a reason behind it. And I thought just condemning US for dropping the bombing was a little bit unfair, because when you talk about human rights issue, you need to think what Japanese had done to violate human rights issue in other countries. So I thought you should give it a little bit fair consideration and not just give a black condemnation. You have to be very careful because it is a complex issue. But thank you so much for the research you have done. Third, the Korean team, the Pohang Idonggo. I really like this team because the Pohang Idonggo, you quoted a lot of people. You quoted the UNDP, you quoted educators, you quoted John Dewey, Edward de Bono, and the futurists. When students come together to make a presentation, the way to make it persuasive and convincing is to quote famous people. Because when you quote famous people, it can be more, it sounds more important and more reliable. And I like the way that you have quoted those people. And I like the way that you have linked the correlation between education and peace. Peace and education are not separate. You know, when you educate people, you can maintain and build peace. And I like the way you have connected those two as you dealt the issue of peace. Just to be fair, I should. Out of fairness, I think it'd be unfair if because of time, like I will be very quick. Anyway, thank you for the team and the US team. Thank you so much for the Korean presentation. I was very impressed how you were presenting in Korean, and I could see how much time you have devoted in speaking Korean. I really, really appreciate, and I think that shows consideration for other culture, and really want to applaud your hard work. Maybe if you had included in the title that this was a case presentation on Fairfax High School, that would have been a little more easier to understand why you were why your talk was concentrated on your high school. But thank you so much for the good presentation. For Uzbek presentation, thank you for mentioning the importance of strong institution, which I agree. But then I also feel like if there was a definition of what strong institution was, a little more definition, that would help, because strong institution can protect human rights, but then they can also harm human rights. They can divide the people, and strong institution, if they're not put in place correctly, can sever democracy as well. So strong institution can be good, but can be also dangerous. So I thought if you consider that part, would also balance out your and be more convincing. The two Korean teams, 경주 여자 정보 고등학교 and 의성 윤택, thank you so much once again for the Korean presentation. When we talk about global, it's not, English isn't the only global language. You know, we have all the different languages that can help us become global, and thank you so much on that. And thank you for the detailed suggestions, which I liked so much. For the 경주 여자 정보고, you know, I was really curious how your school would look like, since you said that it was a small village, small global village within the classroom. 교실 속 작은 지구촌, you had that. And I wish you could show a picture, maybe. If you could show a photo, that would have been a little bit more persuasive and more impressive. This ends my comment. I think next time I should make it very short. But anyway, thank you, and I applaud you for all the excellent presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Shin, for the insightful feedbacks on the presentation. All right, now we're halfway through for today's session. We'll have a 10 minutes break. We'll be back by 11:10 for continuing the session of SDG Students Global Forum. The first team for the next part will be Andong 여자고등학교 team, so Andong Girls High School, and followed by Vietnam. So please be prepared before we start the session. All right, we'll see you in 10 minutes. Thank you. Okay, so we kindly ask you to please take your seats. We would like to proceed with our next half part of SDG's Youth Global Forum. Welcome back, everyone. This is 2024 경상북도 Office of Education World Citizenship Education International Youth Forum. This is Sejin again. We will go ahead and start the second part of SDG's Student International Forum. The first presentation will be given by Cheongsong Middle School students. Please welcome them on the stage with a big round of applause.
Hello everyone. It's an honor to be here. I'll begin a presentation from now on. I'm Jang Seok, Park Chonbom from Cheongsong Middle School in rural areas.
Stop! Before we start the presentation, I will give you a quiz. Our school has 64 students. Then, how many school-age people do you expect Cheongsong-gun to have?
Thank you for reaction. Unfortunately, it's less than 1,000 people. Isn't that amazing? Gyeongbuk also has such regions.
Seok, then what are we going to present today?
We are going to present about ensuring quality education for rural students. Today, I want to talk about an important issue that affects the future of many young people, particularly those living in rural areas, ensuring quality education for rural students. This is not just a matter of fairness, but also of social responsibility and national progress.
Challenges: lack of qualified teachers. First, let's talk about the problem that there are too few qualified subjects. From the perspective of students, a lack of various subject limits their opportunities to explore career and achieve academic goals. This can make them feel left behind compared to students in urban areas. The pressure is enormous for teachers as a teacher often has to do multiple subjects. It can lead to stress and lack of expertise, which can lead to poor educational quality. Parents are also worried. They worry about their children's future and often consider moving to the city.
Second, to address issues arising from the need to enhance basic skills in English and mathematics, reduced academic achievement, students lose of confidence due to learning gaps, and the challenges teachers face in providing customized education, we propose the following solutions. 1. Increased number of subject teachers and deployment of professionals. Place an appropriate number of qualified teachers in rural schools so that students have equal access to learning opportunities in our subjects.
Third, incentivizing teachers to work in rural areas. To address the teacher shortage, governments can offer incentives, housing allowance, and professional development opportunities to encourage qualified teachers to work in rural schools. Additionally, training programs that prepare teachers for the unique challenges of rural education can help build a stronger teaching workforce. Fourth, community and parental involvement. The local community plays an essential role in supporting rural education. Schools can partner with local business organizations and parents to create a more supportive learning environment. Parents, teacher, associations, and community outreach programs can help build stronger connections between schools and families, ensuring that students have the support they need to succeed.
To conclude, I want to leave a thought. Education is the foundation of opportunity. Every child deserves a chance to dream big, no matter where he or she lives. But this is only possible if we, as a global community, commit to addressing these challenges together. Governments, educators, and communities must work together to ensure that students are not left behind simply because of their location. Or the leaders, teachers, and advocates here today. Let's strive to create policies and programs that enable education to be inclusive, equitable, and empowering for our students. Thank you again for giving me the opportunity to share my thoughts. Together, we will pave the way for a brighter and more inclusive future.
Thank you, students, for your great presentation. We'd like to turn time over to Andong Girls High School students for their presentation. Please welcome them on the stage.
안녕하세요. Hello everyone. We are Jimin Kim and Soyoung Jung, first year student at Andong Girls High School.
We are here today to talk to you about Sustainable Development Goal number 4, quality education. Before we get started, we got a question for you. Do you think what you're learning in school is actually preparing you for life? We've been giving this a lot of thought. And you know that many of the others here have wondered the same thing, either back in your school days or while raising your own kids. So we want to share some of our ideas about this with you today.
So what does SDGs 4.7 mean? First of all, let's break down what SDGs 4.7 actually means. It's part of the bigger goal of quality education, and it's all about making sure everyone learns the skills and knowledge they need to build a sustainable future. This happens through education for sustainable development and global citizenship education. Now, this sounds great, right? But the reality is, education in Korea still has a long way to go. We are dealing with things like unclear learning goals, slow adoption of new teaching methods, and not enough data to track progress. That's why we need to build an education system based on SDGs 4.7. This means setting clear international standards, doing ongoing research, and creating strong learning programs that focus on global citizenship and sustainable development. Currently, our schools are trying to shift from old school civic education into a more global approach, but there are some roadblocks, like our focus in exams or generally conservative vibe in our society, that make it tough to really teach global citizenship effectively. So, what are other countries doing? Take Finland as an example. They're known for having an awesome education system based on SDGs 4.7. The- They put students first, and teachers are top-notch, and everyone gets an equal chance to learn. Or Denmark, where schools are super flexible and creativity is the most. Looking at how other countries do it can give us some good ideas for improving our own system.
How do we build an education system for the future? Here's a question for the grown-ups. When you hear the word education, what pops in your head? Is it just someone sitting at a desk and with their nose in a book? Sadly, that kind of learning just doesn't cut it anymore. The world changing too fast. Memorizing facts and just being told what to think won't help us tackle the challenges of the future. It won't give us the creativity, problem-solving skills, or the ability to connect with others that we really need. Think about history class. Instead of just memorizing dates and names, what if we dug deeper into why things happen and how they still affect us today? What if we had more discussions and group projects where we could learn, listen to each other, and explain our ideas clearly and work through disagreements? That's the kind of learning that matters.
So, in a system that is far removed from reality, do you really think you're learning what you need to succeed in life? We're guessing all of you might be unsure, and honestly, so are we. But don't worry, there's still hope. If we can shift how we think about education as a society and create opportunity for students to take charge of their learning, we can reach that goal of true quality education.
Education in Korea is not perfect, but we have a real shot that make it better. And everyone here today can be part of that change. Let's start thinking about how education needs to evolve and work together to make it happen. Thank you for your listening.
Thank you. Now we'll have students from all the way from Vietnam on the stage for their presentation. Please welcome them.
존경하는 아베 장소년 장상회의 참석자 여러분 안녕하십니까? 저는 베트남 장소년을 대표하여 참석한 따이탄 고등학교에 재학 중인 보중도입니다. 아름다운 역사의 도시 경주에서 열리는 이번 장소년 장상회에 참여하게 되어 매우 영광스럽게 생각합니다. 저는 오늘 모두를 위한 모두와 함께하는 교육이라는 주제로 발표하려고 합니다. 베트남은 빠르게 성장하는 개발도 상국으로서 교육의 중요성을 누구보다 잘 알고 있습니다. 하지만 여전히 많은 학생들이 양질의 교육 기회를 누리지 못하고 있습니다. 이러한 문제를 해결하기 위해 베트남 정부는 다양한 노력을 기울이고 있습니다. 예를 들어 고품질 학교 모델 구현, 어린이 교육 플랫폼 구축, 학교 시설 개선 등을 통해 교육의 질을 높이고 있습니다. 또한 학생들의 장애력과 문제 해결 능력을 키우기 위한 다양한 교육 프로그램을 개발하고 있습니다. 저는 이 자리에서 모두와 함께하는 교육을 위해 청소년들이 할 수 있는 다음과 같은 세 가지 방안을 제안하고 싶습니다. 첫째, 청소년들의 적극적인 글로벌 활동입니다. 우리는 온라인 플랫폼을 활용하여 세계의 친구들을 사귀고 정보를 공유할 수 있습니다. 또한 해외 봉사활동, 국제 문화교류 프로그램에 참여할 수 있습니다. 이런 다양한 교류 활동들은 청소년들이 글로벌 시민으로 성장할 수 있는 좋은 기회가 될 것입니다. 둘째, 교육에 대한 학생들의 적극적 참여입니다. 교육에 대한 학생들의 참여는 단순히 의견을 내는 것을 넘어 교육의 주체로서 스스로를 인식하고 변화를 이끌어내는 중요한 과정이라고 생각합니다. 교육 정책에 대한 관심과 참여, 학교 자질 활동 참여, 학생 주도 학습 활동 등을 통해 학생들이 주인이 되는 교육 환경을 만드는 것에 적극적으로 참여해야 합니다. 셋째, 환경 문제에 대한 적극적 관심과 참여입니다. 청소년들이 환경 문제 해결에 앞장서야 하는 이유가 무엇일까요? 바로 우리가 살아갈 지구의 미래가 달려있기 때문입니다. 친환경 생활습관, 온라인 활동 등을 통한 환경 정보 공유, 환경 관련 진도 탐색 등은 미래 환경을 위한 실천이 될 수 있습니다. 저는 오늘 제가 제안한 방안들이 모두와 함께하는 교육 실현하는 데 도움이 될 수 있다고 생각합니다. 글로벌 시대에 살고 있는 청소년들은 국경을 넘어 서로 소통하고 협력하면 함께 성장해야 합니다. 우리 모두 함께 노력하여 잠재력을 최대한 발휘하고 더 나은 미래를 만들어 나가도록 합시다. 감사합니다.
Thank you. I was very impressed at your Korean speaking. Thank you again. All right, now we'll go back to the World Citizenship Education reporting program. I would like to turn time over to teacher Lindewa Shabala, who is working at the Korea International Culinary High School Following by that, we'll watch a video clip reports by Pearl Abosi, who is working at Ulung Middle School. All right, teacher Lin Wal. Hopefully I pronounce your name correctly. Yes? All right, please go ahead.
Close enough.
Oh, it was a close.
Yes.
Okay.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Lindelwa Shabalala. I'm from South Africa. I teach at the Korean International Culinary Arts High School. And today I am going to talk about how South Africa is doing towards achieving quality education for all. First, I would like to say something about what the Chinese students said when they were presenting. They showed a picture of a school and said it was a school from South Africa. That is true. I went to a school like that in South Africa. I also taught at a school like that last year. So South Africa does have very poor areas. There's a lot of difference between urban schools and rural schools. We have poor schools that have very low resources. Okay. Now for my presentation. I am going to focus on 4 main points. The first point will be the Sustainable Development Goal itself. I will also give a historical context of the education system in South Africa. I will also talk about our progress. How are we doing right now? And then lastly, I will call you to action. I will tell you what you can do to make sure that everyone in the world receives quality education. First, what are sustainable development goals? As we all know, these are calls to action. The United Nations developed these goals so that we can all do something about the inequalities in the world. I will focus on Sustainable Development Goal 4 in the context of South Africa. I will give you a historical background of South Africa. In 1948 in South Africa, there was a government system called the apartheid government. The apartheid government was the government of white people that excluded non-whites from economic activities. That will be people who look like me. So this government system had policies that discriminated against anyone who was not white. So there were areas that were designated only for white people and areas that were for non-whites. Areas that were for white people received a lot of financial resources and they had very well-developed schools with great resources, while black schools had very poor resources. Now, if you can look at the screen, you will see 2 pictures. The top picture shows a school for white people under the apartheid government. As you can see, it's a very nice looking school. When you look at the picture at the bottom, it's a school for black people under the apartheid government. So black schools were low-resourced schools with low quality education. Unfortunately, this is still the case. Because of the segregation of apartheid, white people are still living in different areas than black people, mostly. There is some progress towards inclusion, but there's still that difference. And in 1994, the new government came in, which was elected by the majority. So it was democracy. When democracy came, they came with policies to try and improve everything in the country, including education. South Africa has some progress. As you can see, on the bar graph on the screen, there is some progress between the different races in terms of access to education. But you can see that Black people still have low access to education. This is due to the policies of financial laws in South Africa. So more financial resources are directed to areas that have higher levels of population, and these will be the urban areas. Areas like rural areas. I grew up in a rural area, so there's very low resources there. I went to a school like that school that they showed, and I also taught at a school like that last year. There is access to higher education because of policies like the National Student Financial Aid Scheme, which is a scheme that is aimed at giving financial assistance to low-income students. I am here today because of that scheme. I was born in 1992, apartheid ended in 1994. That means my parents were not educated because of apartheid. So when it was time for me to go to university, they didn't have money. They also couldn't afford to pay for a loan or even qualify for one. So the National Student Financial Aid Scheme helped me to go to university. So those are some of the policies that we have in South Africa to ensure that everyone has access to education. Another policy that we have a law that compels every child that is between the age of 7 and 15 to go to school. So if a child between the age of 7 and 15 doesn't attend schooling, the parents can be in trouble with the law. Now, as you can see, this graph also shows the difference between the races. Even though South Africa is making some progress, in terms of percentage, Black people are still not represented according to their population percentage. South Africa is made up of about 81% Black people. But if you can see on the graph that education levels are very low amongst the Black population. Now, what can we do as South Africa? I believe that we have to support policies that promote fair, equal education. We can also support initiatives and create opportunities for equal access to education opportunities. And South Africa is doing what it can do. The apartheid legacy is very severe. We are trying to make some progress, but there will be financial challenges. Now, what can we do? I want to tell you about different cases around the world. Number one, in Afghanistan, the Taliban has stopped girls from going to secondary school and universities. In Syria, war has forced millions of children out of school. In Yemen, the war crisis stops children from going to school. In Chad and Somalia, poverty and cultural beliefs keep many girls from going to school. These examples show that education is a right that many children around the world do not enjoy still. Each and every one of us can make a difference. You can do what you can with what you have right now. Number one, you can raise awareness. Use your social media to raise awareness about these injustices. You can donate resources or your time towards any initiatives that support access to quality education for all. We can also support policies that promotes quality education for everyone. In closing, education is the key to peace, fairness, and progress around the world. South Africa's journey shows how important it is to make education equal. Let's work together to ensure that every child, everywhere, has a chance to learn. I thank you.
My name is Pearl Abotsi, and I am the native English teacher at Oolong Middle School and Oolong High School, and I am also from South Africa. Today, I would like to tell you about what South Africa is doing to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals, and especially Goal 16. Goal 16 is Peace, Justice, and Strong Institutions. Peace, Justice, and Strong Institutions is Goal 16, and is a United Nations SDG, which aims to create peace and inclusive societies, provide access to justice, and build accountable institutions. Since the goal has a lot of things that is inclusive, like promoting peace and inclusive societies and building accountable and inclusive institutions, it is very important in that SDG 16 is an enabling tool for all other goals. Sustaining peace and development requires meeting its targets. Some of the challenges of Goal 16 are the violent conflicts happening around the world, armed violence, insecurity, sexual violence, crime, exploitation, and torture. Some of the solutions that have been brought forth are to strengthen the rule of law, promote human rights, reduce the flow of illicit arms, combat corruption, and ensure inclusive participation by all citizens. Here are some facts about Goal 16. There has been a steep rise in conflict-related deaths. This is fueled by the war in Ukraine, Palestine, Sudan, DRC, and Mozambique. More than 120 million people have been displaced due to these conflicts. The largest number in international homicide has been recorded. South Africa has a high crime rate, particularly in violent crimes like homicide and gender-based violence. This causes significant threat to peace and social safety. Nearly 200,000 trafficking victims were recorded between 2017 and 2020. But all in all, the number of trafficking victims comes to almost 50 million people globally. This is equivalent to the population of South Korea. Can you believe that? Some of the things that can be done to resolve this are tackling gang violence, organized crime, and human trafficking. The youth face underrepresentation in politics, so this usually affects their participation in decision making. This is why it's very important for the youth to get involved in the SDGs. Some of the challenges in implementing SDG 16 is strengthening law enforcement institutions. Governance measures include transparency in these institutions, following or obeying the rule of law, equality before the law, and this applies to everyone. Also, to establish appropriate monitoring mechanisms. Effective monitoring of the SDG implementation is essential throughout all institutions. The current method in monitoring and implementation are inadequately defined. Some of the progress and initiatives that the South African government is taking is they plan to end abuse, exploitation, trafficking, and violence against children. By 2020, the South African government wants to provide legal identity for all, including birth registration, which is required to perform or to gain most services in the country. They want to ensure public access to information and protect fundamental freedoms. They want to reduce corruption and bribery in all forms and across all government institutions. These efforts are to provide accessible, affordable, legal aid to people in need. Initiatives like the State Capture Commission, which is also named the Zondo Commission, aims to address corruption and ensure accountability in all government institutions. NGO and community engagement. Civil society usually are the champions in promoting accountability, human rights, and access to justice. South Africa is also involved in a lot of peace-building efforts across the region and in Africa. The government participates in regional peacekeeping and mediation efforts across African states like Mozambique and the DRC at the moment. Here are some images of civil society fighting corruption in South Africa, which is very important to most of its citizens. And also another scourge on the nation is gender-based violence. And the government, as well as civil society and normal citizens, are really working hard to curb this scourge. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation. And if you want to reach me, my email address is at the bottom. Thank you so much. Goodbye.
Thank you all teachers for your great reports. We would like to continue on the SDGs Student International Forum. Next, we'll turn time over to the students from Uzbekistan. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome them.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Samira. I'm from Uzbekistan. Today, I talk about cooperation between countries and the role of youth in development. This presentation explores the crucial role of youth in promoting global cooperation and achieving sustainable development. The potential of youth engagement in development. First, fresh perspectives. Youth bring innovative ideas and unique perspective to tackling development challenges. Second, digital savvy. Youth bring innovative ideas. Youth thought it savvy, adept at utilizing technology for communication, mobilization, and impact. Third, passion for change. Youth are driven by a strong desire to create a positive impact on the world. Goal 16, peace, justice, and strong institutions. Goal 16 of the SDGs is dedicated to promoting peaceful and inclusive societies for sustainable development, providing access to justice for all, and building effective, accountable, and inclusive institutions at all levels. Uzbekistan's commitment to the SDGs. First, Goal 16, peace, justice, and strong institutions. Uzbekistan prioritizes promoting peaceful and inclusive societies, providing access to justice for all, and building effective, accountable, and inclusive institutions at all levels. Second, alignment with national development goals. Integrating the SDGs international policies and strategies ensures a holistic and sustainable approach to development. Third, partnerships for progress. Collaboration between government, civil society, and international organizations is crucial for achieving the SDGs in Uzbekistan. Promoting peace and justice in Uzbekistan's raw cultural heritage. This presentation explores the intersection of cultural traditions, sustainable development, and Goal 16 of the Sustainable Development Goals, peace, justice, and strong institutions in Uzbekistan. By leveraging the power of cultural heritage, Uzbekistan aims to foster a more peaceful and just society. Fostering intercultural understanding and exchange. Cross-cultural programs. Faculty exchange programs and collaboration between students from different countries. Multilingual education. Promote the learning of multiple languages and expose students to diverse perspectives. Global citizenship education. Develop a sense of global responsibility and understanding of interconnectedness. Celebrating Uzbek dance traditions. Shashmakom, a classical music and dance traditions often featuring elaborate costumes and expressive movements. Andijan polka, a lively and energetic dance known for its fast footwork and joyful spirit. Lasgi, characterized by its graceful movements and intricate hand gestures, often performed by women. Tanawar, a traditional dance form that incorporates elements of storytelling and folklore. K-pop's global influence. First, cultural exchange. K-pop's popularity has facilitated cultural exchange between South Korea and other countries, including Uzbekistan. Second, youth engagement. K-pop has captivated a global audience, particularly young people, fostering a sense of community and shared interest. Third, soft power. The popularity of K-pop has contributed to South Korea's soft power, enhancing its image, global image and influence. The power of talent shows. First, showcasing talent. Second, promoting inclusivity. And third, inspiring dreams. Challenges in Uzbekistan. First, rule of law. Strengthening the rule of law and ensuring equal access to justice for all citizens is crucial. Second, corruption. Addressing corruption and promoting transparency and accountability in government institutions is vital. Third, civil participation. Creating an enabling environment for civil organizations, society organizations, and ensuring meaningful participation in decision-making processes is important. Initiatives to promote peace and justice, legal reforms, anti-corruption measures, and civil society engagement. Leveraging cultural traditions for sustainable change. Uzbekistan's rich cultural heritage, including its traditions of music, dance, and craftsmanship, can be leveraged to promote peace, justice, and sustainable development. By fostering intercultural dialogue, empowering communities, and promoting social cohesion, cultural traditions can contribute to a more harmonious and prosperous society. Conclusion, a call to action for youth involvement. Empowering youth through quality education and fostering their engagement is crucial for global development. We must invest in their potential and create opportunities for them to lead and contribute to a better future. Thank you.
Great job. Next is Shinkwang Middle School students.
Hello, I'm Bae Eun-bin, a student at Shinkwang Middle School. The concept I would like to present today is about sustainable environmental education. which corresponds to the details of Sustainable Development Goals 4. There are 5 main things I want to talk about in this forum. First of all, let's talk about the current state of environmental education. Secondly, we will look at the reasons why environmental education in schools is difficult and uninteresting. Thirdly, we will think about how to make environmental education sustainable. Next, I would like to talk about how to love nature, and finally, how environmental education should be included in the curriculum. This is the current state of environmental education. The pictures are the 3 most popular education among the school environmental education. The first is recycling education, the second is lecture on ecological education, and the last is carbon footprint calculation education. All of them are classes that are mainly theory, not experience and practice. Next, the current school environment education is difficult and boring. As you can see from this table, less than half of the number of students who have experienced activities that students usually say are fun, such as community life experience, etc. Is even in carbon neutral schools, lecture classes are 94.5%, while experience-oriented classes are about 70%. The more effective the students are, the less ironic the students have experienced it. Well, what should I do to be sustainable? First of all, it should be fun. If the environment class is fun, the participation in the class will increase and the evaluation of the class will be much better. And you have to be interested. When students become interested in the environment, we will try to find more about it and put it into practice. If students are not interested, environmental classes will not lead to daily practice. We have to educate about loving nature. The first reason is that it's fun. A hands-on class is much more interesting than a theory-oriented lecture class. And you can experience in yourself, so it's interesting. Also, you can experience nature by seeing and feeling it yourself. Finally, we announced that we have developed 3 kinds of eco-transition education textbooks or 3 kinds of teacher's guidebooks for the first time in 17 metropolitan and provincial offices of education. Thus, in time for the 2022 revised curriculum to be introduced in the 3rd and 4th grade of elementary school and the first year of middle school in 2025. Everyone, I think environmental education should be organized at least 3 or 4 hours a week, like math. Everyone, it doesn't mean that we digest because we don't take math or science for 4 hours, but the environment is different. If the environment is learned, we can no longer live on Earth. Environmental education is essential for us to live on this planet. If not, we will destroy it endlessly. And why don't we put a climate crisis challenge in our performance evaluation? Why don't we put the problem of calculating carbon footprints in our math paper delivered test? Would everyone here and we all be able to find the answer if we all think together about how to put environmental education into the curriculum? If teachers and students love nature and the environment through school environment education will be sustainable and will be driving force to saving the earth. I think the education that makes us love the environment that I just announced is a real quality education and the most important goal that is directly related to our lives. Thank you.
Next is Tasan Middle School students.
Hi, my name is Hong Hee-won
and So Yeju
from Tasan Middle School. We are now living in a wave of technological innovation. Artificial intelligence is no longer a story of the future. It naturally permeates into our daily lives, playing an important role in our conversation, in our work, and now in education. The introduction to the speech you just heard was actually not written by me, but by ChatGPT. And this way, AI exists anywhere in our daily lives, not a simple tool. However, simply beyond what we use in only one dimension, we need to think various possibilities of AI deeply to develop this AI. Today, I'm going to talk about the changes that we've made to AI education like ChatGPT and the future perspectives of education that we want to achieve through it.
First of all, ChatGPT has improved our quality of life in many ways. Its most prominent strength is its best knowledge. Taking advantage of its fast-running ability as an artificial intelligence, ChatGPT stores data in various fields such as history, art, and science. We take advantage of these points and use them easily in our daily lives. Currently, the human brain has limitations in storing information and relatively limited space-time in activating the brain. Therefore, we need to further explore ways to apply these benefits of ChatGPT in various situations. Next, it provides various answers and appropriate information depending on who the question is being asked. When asked to create a fairy tale that considers the taste of a 5-year-old girl, ChatGPT gave an answer that met the requirements. Regardless of who the user is, man or woman of all ages, ChatGPT can answer about any questions and situation without an obstacle. These benefits can be further maximized in our rapidly changing modern society. We are living in a society that is too much to just follow without having time to look around. ChatGPT is one of the right forms of AI to adapt to in this society.
However, ChatGPT, which has many benefits like this, doesn't always have a positive effect on us. ChatGPT provides us quick and key answers based on amount of information. However, this answer is not always correct and accurate. For example, when you enter a book title and ask for an author, the wrong person comes out. And this way, If a response containing incorrect information is generated, students who do not critically check once more just adapt it. And then students may lose their ability to distinguish fact and lies. For students, learning is not just the process of finding answer to problem, but also exploring why the answers are correct and whether there are other possibilities. In this information-flow society, I think the ability that students ask and criticize themselves is very important more than anything. ChatGPT can be used as a very good tool in education, but the problem will get worse if it starts to replace human thinking. Excessive reliance on AI will upset learners' willingness to think for themselves and explore themselves anymore. The higher the dependence on AI, it is likely to obscure the essence of learning or learning by oneself and how to learn. This excessive use and dependence of ChatGPT impairs autonomy in human thinking. We should use AI such as ChatGPT as an auxiliary tool, but remember that the center is human. In the past, when passive in unfamiliar words in literary media, students actively searched and understood the meaning of words by analyzing the context. However, ChatGPT provides immediate and quick answers all like this. This will prevent them from actively trying to find or remember words. Also, ChatGPT uses the same expression over and over again. Eventually, using ChatGPT will standardize the same style without its personality and gravity.
So how can we read future education on artificial intelligence to a better direction? As a student, I believe the future of AI education should focus on teaching us how to ask meaningful questions and critically verify information rather than simply accept answers. With tools like ChatGPT providing instant responses, we need opportunities to compare, analyze, and assess the reliability information ourselves. This would help us develop an objective perspective and stronger critical thinking skills. I also think it's important that we are encouraged to dig deeper into the answers we get. By exploring the why behind the AI responses, their background, limitations, and applications, we can grow into independent thinkers with better logical reasoning and a more self-directed approach to learning. While technology offers incredible convenience, I feel education should focus on helping us use it wisely. By fostering these habits, we as students can prepare not just to adapt to the future, but to read it with curiosity and creativity.
The future of education is to stimulate curiosity, expand thinking, and grow people. Artificial intelligence will help us learn and teach in new ways along the way. However, we should keep in mind that there should always be a human being at the center of it to think and learn. What we need to do now is very simple. It is to students ask and create questions together beyond the use of AI. To this end, the future education we will create will serve as a stepping stone for them to think deeper and look wider. That is all our presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next team, the students from Indonesia studying abroad at the Korea Maritime Meister High School. I would like to turn time over to them.
안녕하세요. 저는 한국해양 마스터고등학교에 다니는 누노 고메즈입니다. 저는 인도네시아 술라베시주 파레파레시에 있는 파레파레 해양 직업학교에서 1학년까지 공부했습니다. 제가 사는 인도네시아 술라베시는 자카르타에서 비행기, 버스를 타고 10시간 넘게 가야 하는 작은 마을입니다. 저는 이곳에서 조부모를 포함한 대가족이 함께 살았고 고등학교 졸업 후 취업을 위해 파레파레 해양 직업학교에 입학했습니다. 그곳에서 회사법, 해양학, 기관수를 배웠습니다. 한국해양 마스터고등학교에서 해외 유학생을 뽑아 해양 관련 전문 교육을 받을 수 있는 기회가 있다고 하여 한국어 면접을 열심히 준비했고 산팔되어 한국에 올 수 있게 됐습니다. 한국은 제가 좋아하는 나라이고 제 꿈을 이루기 위한 전문 교육을 잘 받을 수 있게 정말 기뻤습니다. 저는 기관사가 된 것이 꿈입니다. 한국해양 마스터고등학교는 제 꿈을 이루기 위한 전문적인 교육 과정과 시설을 갖추고 있습니다. 저는 이 자리에서 우리 학교에 받는 있는 양질의 교육 프로그램과 시설을 자랑하려 합니다. 이것은 저의 한국어 공부하는 한국어 학급입니다. 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
뭐 하고 있어요?
한국어를 공부하고 있어요.
여기도 한국 숲에서 다 만들었어요. 여기는 세종대왕입니다. 지금은 기관 수업 시간입니다. 여기는 기관 실습실입니다. 쌤아, 뭐 하고 있어? 조립하고 있어.
이거 진짜 잘해, 쌤. 봐봐.
이곳은 영접실입니다. 우리는 여기서 영접을 배웁니다. 노르완이 영접 실습을 하고 있습니다. 이곳은 기관 시뮬레이터실입니다. 이곳에서는 기관 작동 방법을 배웁니다. 노르완 뭐 하고 있어?
발전기 작동 상태를 점검하고 있어.
우리는 지금 회계사 자격증 공부를 하고 있습니다. 조연습 선생님께서 매일 아침 수업해 주십니다. 안녕.
안녕.
이거 뭐예요?
이거 피스톤이에요. 아이고,
아이고야, 어려워요.
아이고야.
재밌어요.
우리는 바다를 번호 최고의 기관사가 될 거예요. 바다로 세계로 화이팅!
어때요? 정말 주문적이고 다양한 활동을 많이 하지 않나요? 저는 학교 생활이 정말 재미있습니다. 저는 한국해양마이스터 고등학교에서 받는 전문적인 교육과 경험을 통해 회계사 자격증을 취득하여 훌륭한 기관사가 될 것이며 기업에 취업도 할 것입니다. 나아가 인도네시아와 한국을 넘어 글로벌 해양 산업을 이끌어갈 인재가 될 것입니다.
All right, everybody. Now, finally, we will have the last presentation by the students from Taedong Middle School. Please welcome them on the stage with a big round of applause.
Hello everyone, I'm Kim Ju-han in Daedong Middle School. I'm so nervous because I'm the last one. Let's start the presentation. We are talking about quality education for all the power of education. The first topic, why school classes are necessary. The necessity of school classes can be explained through four main aspects: learning, communication, cooperation, and social skills, and experience for career development. I will now elaborate on these four areas. 1. Learning. School classes provide students with essential foundational knowledge, building a base in various academic fields such as language, mathematics, science, and social studies, help students develop understanding and critical thinking skills. Classes also enhance learning effectiveness by encouraging students to take notes, ask questions, and explore topics they find confusing or curious. 2. Communication. School classes play a vital role in helping students develop problem-solving skills. Through communication with peers, students can think creatively and critically as they analyze and solve various problems. Additionally, participating in discussions to share opinions, listen to others, and refine personal through fostering through meaningful dialogue. 3. Cooperation and social skills and consideration. Schools are environments where students interact and cooperate with others. Through classes, students build relationships with peers and teachers, learning the importance of communication, teamwork, and empathy. Since schools are microcosm of society, they also allow students to experience and prepare for social life indirectly. 4. Experience for career development. School classes, along with extracurriculum activities and field trips, help students discover their interests and talents while exploring potential career paths. This experience plays a significant role in shaping students' dreams and guiding them toward achieving their goals. The second topic, schools and COVID-19. Despite evidence that schools are not major contributor to the spread of COVID-19, many countries closed schools for extended periods, with some remaining shut for over a year. At the height of the pandemic, 90% of students worldwide were out of school, and then more 30% lack access to remote education. Reopening schools should be a top priority when lifting lockdown measures. Supplementary classes must also be provided to ensure that children without access to remote education are not left behind. If students miss another year of education, the consequence will ripple through for future generation. Going to school is not just about equalizing knowledge, it's about learning critical thinking, problem-solving skills, social relationships, self-growth, and social responsibility. I also believe that schools is an important place for us to prepare the future, to understand different cultures and people, and to learn the different skills and values necessary for life. The third topic, the need for education. 1. Access to information. Education enlightens people and provides access to knowledge that can be passed down to future generations. In today's information-driven society, skills for recognizing and processing information quickly and accurately are crucial. By combining basic education with diverse information, we can nurture talents that thrive in an information-rich world. 2. Contribution to social development. Education enables individuals to grow into valuable contributors to society, fostering personal success to driving societal advancement. Continuous education ensure that growth and development persist across generations, helping to build a thriving society. 3. Relational communication and discussion. Education equips individuals with the ability to communicate effectively and listen logically. By embracing and adjusting to different perspectives, people can generate better ideas and work collectively toward progress and innovation. The first topic, school enrollment worldwide. While some countries enrollment rates in elementary, middle, and high schools, the global statistics reveal disparities. For example, 92% of children attended elementary school, but only 53 could continue to high school. The fifth topic, future education innovation. Future education aims to align teaching methods and systems with rapidly changing technological and societal environments. Key innovation include 1. Personal learning. Artificial intelligence (AI) provide tailored learning content to pathway based on students' styles, level, and needs, boosting learning effectiveness and supporting individuals' growth. 2. Digital and hybrid learning. Online tools and hybrid models combining physical classroom with digital platforms enhance flexibility and accessibility in learning. 3. Competency-based education. Emphasis on problem-solving, creative thinking, and collaboration overload. Memorization prepares students for dynamic future societies. 4. Data-driven learning analysis. Systems that analyze learning data enable teachers to offer customized guidance, improving student outcomes. 5. Social and emotional learning. Beyond academics, SEL helps students develop emotional regulation, self-awareness, and interpersonal skills, enhancing overall well-being. 6. Lifelong learning systems. Lifelong learning system opportunities ensure that individuals can continually acquire new skills and adapt to changing demands. 7. AR and VR education. Immersive learning environments such as virtual historical tours, or scientific exploration boosting engagement and experiential learning. 8. AI teachers and chatbots. AI tools provide instant feedback and additionally resource easing teachers' workloads and maintaining constant learning. 9. Sustainable education. Integrating environmental and social responsibility into education prepares students to contribute to sustainable development goals. Lastly, future education seeks to provide personalized experience, foster holistic growth, and transition toward lifelong learning systems. Thank you for our listening.
Thank you. You did a great job, though you said you were very nervous. Thank you again. Okay, now we had all the presentations, and at this time, we would like to ask Professor Shin again to be on the stage for the overall reviews. Please welcome her.
Thank you so much, everybody. Especially the second team, I was all the more impressed because most of the teams were from middle school students. So can we give a big round of applause for our middle school students who made a great presentation? You guys did great, amazing, amazing. Because I was asked to make sure that I don't make a comment and loosen the time, and because we know that lunch is prepared and you have exciting programs waiting, I think I should make a general comment. And also, I don't think it's fair for me to point out things to middle school students who've been very nervous. So I will try to make a comment that is constructive and helpful to all. First of all, I think I learned so much myself. It was an eye-opening experience for me, and I think all of you learned as well of the situations in other countries, especially along with me. I hope you have learned a lot about the situation in South Africa, US, Uzbekistan, China, Vietnam, Indonesia, along with the Korean situation. I was very impressed how you were able to delve into this important topic of peace, education, and sustainable development. And I was also pleased that some of you had made a presentation on environment, which is linked to education and peace, and about ChatGPT and AI. In the morning session, we had AI presentation as well, because this is something that we cannot ignore and overlook as we talk about education. And this technology is something that will change our lives and the world. And I think it is important that we consider how to use this technology in a positive way that help all of us to grow together and form a peaceful world. So thank you all for the very informative and interesting presentation. Now, overall comment. If I can give you some tips on how to improve your presentation in the future, as I believe you'll be the future leader, I feel that if you had included some of the graphs, statistics, tables, and maybe related photos, that would have made your presentation more persuasive, convincing, and credible. So I would like to suggest that in addition to the excellent presentation you have made, why not include some of the fact-checking, objective data to support your argument that will make your presentation, that will, I think, improve the quality of your presentation. Also, the titles. I want to recognize 안동여고. I love their title. Their title was very creative. It says, "Play the world, set the world in motion." And it was, the big title was "Level Up the Global Village." So I thought the title was very cute, very interesting, very creative. So because title can say a lot of things, and I want to commend 안동여고 for that. But let me add on that, the title should be linked to the presentation, because when you want to say something, that should be summarized in the title. And I thought, some improvement could be made there. Also, because you have limited time, you only had 7 minutes to present. Sometimes I felt that you were trying to say too many things at the same time. And because there was a lack of focus, sometimes it felt like you were throwing everything out, that this was a problem, this was challenges. And the countermeasures for that was very little. And I thought that maybe if you had focus and was less ambitious on what you wanted to cover, maybe that could have produced a presentation that is more informative and more learning to everyone. Having said that, I am still impressed, and I want to close by saying that we should remember that we are the building blocks of the society and institution. As we come together like this in an international forum, I think it is important that we create friendship, that we learn to appreciate each other's culture, language, and that we have this openness to learn from each other. If we do that, I think the world will change, because we are the world. You know, each person, we form the society, we form the world. And I challenge you to believe in the power of individual, one person. You are not weak. You can do a lot of things. And I also hope that you will believe in the power of a school, because school can do so much, can bring so much changes, because, you know, the world, after all, is formed by each individual coming together. Because of that, I think the world, the future, will be brighter because of you, who is interested in this global issue, who is willing to study and learn from each other. One more word I want to say is, when we talk about environment, when we talk about peace, when we talk about education, let's not end with just words. It is important that we translate it into action. Because, you know, some of us generation, we talked about peace, but we did a lousy job, because I think we just talked and less action. And I hope the next generation, you will not stop at saying, but change the world by doing. And saying that, when we talk about environment, I hope you will take the initiative. It may be bear the inconvenience, not using plastic, you know, not using the washing machine so much to waste the water, you know, doing some of those action. I think if you start that, that can change the world. But, you know, sometimes we need to bear those inconveniences. And when we talk about peace, it is important that we are interested in our neighbors, in the world, what's going on around the world. So I challenge you to continuously open your eye, open your ears to what's going on around the world. Some of the suffering, some of the poverty, some of the unfortunate and miserable situations that is going around the world. You know, yes, when we open our heart and when we try to bear their shame and difficulty and misery, and when we try to convince people that we are in this together, that we share common destiny, I think the world will really become a better place for all. So I hope that through you, the world will change. I'd like to end by expressing my heartfelt thanks to school and the teachers who have taught the students so well. I think the teachers are amazing too. And I also would like to thank 경상북도, all the officials who made this event possible. I am very impressed, and I'm very proud to be a Pohang citizen. And I'd like to thank everybody who devoted their efforts to make this event possible. I hope you will enjoy the rest of the event. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Shin, for your touching message you have sent to us. And a big round of applause goes to you all, the students who have prepared for this presentation, put every effort into this program. We really appreciate and grateful for your hard work, especially the teachers who have guided all the students so dedicatedly despite their busy schedules. So once again, we really appreciate for your great participation, and your efforts and commitments really brought us one step closer to achieving a sustainable development goals. So thank you. Well, through this event, we really hope that the students and the people around the world can learn the power of collaboration for a shared and better future. With this, we conclude 2024 경상북도 Office of Education Global Citizenship Education Youth International Forum. We really appreciate everybody for your participation. Thank you.